Everyone deserves that one-on-one touch where you get to meet with somebody personally, sit them, have them look you in the eye, address your particular situation.
This is Blair Durham with Black Wall Street Today, your media hub for all things Black entrepreneurship, politics, news, and events in Hampton Roads and beyond.
When I say black, y'all say Wall Street. Black
Wall Street.
Black Wall Street. When I say black, y'all say Wall Street. Black.
Blair Durham.
Greetings. Hey, welcome to this 18th edition of Black Wall Street Today with Blair Durham. Thank you as always for tuning in. Are you considering starting a business? Here are 10 ways to evaluate a market from the popular book, The Personal MBA by Josh Kaufman. This information was actually shared to the Black Brand Members Only group by its chairman of the board, Ronaldo Randall. I thought it fitting to share with our listeners today. First, urgency. How badly do people want or need this right now? Second, market size. How many people are actively purchasing things like this? Third, pricing potential. What's the highest average price a purchaser would be willing to spend for a solution? Fourth is the cost of customer acquisition. How easy is it to acquire a new customer? Fifth is the cost of value delivery. How much would it cost to create and deliver the value offered, both in money and effort? Sixth is uniqueness of the offer. How unique is your offer versus competing offerings in the market, and how easy is it for potential competitors to copy you? 7 is speed to market. How quickly can you create something to sell? 8 is the upfront investment. How much will you have to invest before you're ready to sell? 9 is your upsell potential. Are there related secondary offers that you could also present to purchasing customers? And the 10th way to evaluate a market is to consider its evergreen potential. Once the initial offer has been created, how much additional work will you have to put in order to continue selling? First up today is our fourth installment on our Stocks and Entrepreneurship series with J.R. Fenwick, Hampton University alum and founder and CEO of FlipThatStock.com, as well as award-winning author of How I Quit My $100,000 a Year Job. J.R., welcome back to the show.
Hey, it's great to be back. How you doing?
We are building. I am so excited. Let's hop right in. What do you have for us today, JR? What are we going to discuss?
All right. So today we're going to dive a little deeper into some of these subjects on the stock market. So the first thing up is I want your listeners to get a good understanding between the difference between trading and investing.
Okay.
A lot of people use these terms interchangeably, and they're not the same thing. And so, excuse me. And so, you can think of it this way: is that investors are people who are looking down the road into the future. So, if you buy a stock or shares of a stock and you hold it for a year or longer, you're considered an investor. And typically, investors are looking for retirement, maybe paying for college or vacation. Or I have a friend who had some shares of stock and held them for years, and then after she got out of medical school, she cashed in her stocks to start up her medical practice.
Oh, wow.
So investors, more long-term. Traders are in it to generate what we call right now money.
Okay.
They say, hey, got right now bills, we want to make some right now money.
Got it.
And so traders are in and out of the market. They could buy and hold a stock for a few months, a few weeks. They could do it for a few days, a few hours, minutes, even seconds. And so, and by the way, there is no law that says that you have to hold a stock for a certain period of time. So you can go in, buy a stock, and 2 minutes later, if it goes up or does what you want it to do, you can sell it. Or if it doesn't do what you want it to do, you can get rid of it. And so it's very important to understand the difference between that. So the difference between trading and investing.
I love it. We're talking about strategy here. This is good stuff.
Yeah, another point that the listening audience to grab a hold of is oftentimes they may turn on the TV and read in the news somewhere that it's a bull market, or it's a bear market. And I used to hear these terms, wondering what does an animal have to do with the stock market?
Right.
A bull and a bear, right? So I'm not quite sure who came up with this concept or what they were doing when they came up with the concept. But you think of it this way, is that a bull, if it were to attack, it would lower its head and come up with its horns.
Got it.
And so they call it a bull market when overall stock market is going up. You know, just like a bull coming up to attack. And if a bear is going to attack, it gets up on its hind legs and then comes down. And so a bear market is when, the overall market is going down. And so again, it's interesting when you pull back the curtain, these concepts are not difficult.
Right.
A lot of people think there are really some simplistic answers behind them. And that's what we do at Flip That Stock. We get to the simplistic answer to teach it. So that's another key point.
Makes
that
sense.
I think your listeners should grasp.
In fact, if you're just tuning in, this is Blair Durham with Black Wall Street Today. We're just getting an exciting conversation about the stock market underway with Mr. J.R. Fenwick, who is founder and CEO of FlipThatStock.com. This is the fourth installment on our Stocks and Entrepreneurship training is what I'm going to call it. So let me ask you this. What are some of the things that can kind of create that bull versus that bear market? So what are the things that make it go up and down?
So that's a great question. There's a lot of different things, but I'll share with you 5 that are probably the most common that can make a stock go up or down as the market be bull or bear. Okay. And if you think of these, again, nothing complicated. So news, whether it's good news, whether it's so-called fake news, could affect a stock, going up or down. And it's interesting, like when you understand these things, it's not a guarantee, but you can kind of project out maybe which way a stock will go based on some of these things. So news is one. Rumors is another one. I often say that, and I'm just making this example up, so I don't want your audience to run out and say, he said that. I'm just making this up, as I say. So here's a rumor, the new iPhone 15, you'll be able to put on your steering wheel and it'll drive your car.
Gotcha.
I'm making this up. So don't nobody go out and say, JR. But if somebody put that type of rumor out, there'd be people who would believe it, and they'd be lined up, ready to, buy this and stick it on their car and all this type of stuff. So rumors, again, whether true or not. Another thing real quick is earnings reports. When you buy shares of stock, they have to give you an earnings report, tell you what did they meet their anticipated goal for the quarter. They may say, hey, I want to make $100 million, and they made $2 million. Well, they got to tell everybody that, and their stock may go down. Or vice versa, they say, we thought we were going to make $100 million, we made $500 million.
Right.
Their stock may skyrocket.
Okay.
So that's another thing. Interest rates, those can affect the stock going up and down. Unemployment, that can affect stocks going up and down. So those are 5 of the most common things that can affect, the direction of the market, making it a bull or bear market.
Interesting. I'm just thinking now, you mentioned how it is that we can anticipate the trends and then ultimately make decisions with regard to trading and investing. It seems fascinating. I'm excited. So what's the main indicator that would sort of determine the overall health of the stock market?
So you know how let me use an analogy here. You know how if you go to the doctor, before you even see the doctor, talking about like a primary care doctor, a family practice doctor, and before you even see the doctor, they will take your weight, your temperature, and your blood pressure. And the reason they do that is because those 3 things are 3 indicators of your overall health. It doesn't mean that you don't have a cold or a flu if all of those are normal, but it just gives them an indication of your overall health.
Got it.
And so in the stock market, they have something similar. And the main indicator that they use, that you hear on TV all the time, is called the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which a lot of people just call it the Dow.
Yeah.
So what is the Dow? All right, so again, not complicated. All the Dow, I just want people to think of a shopping cart that's holding 30 stocks in it.
Okay.
30 huge stocks, like Apple, Exxon, big companies. So whichever way these stocks, well, first of all, every day and throughout the day, they have a formula to average the performance of these stocks.
Okay.
And if overall these stocks are going up, you'll hear on TV, oh, the market's gone up by, and they say it in points, 100 points, 200 points.
Mm-hmm.
Or overall, if they're coming down, it'll say, the market's gone down by 200 points. These 30 stocks would be like an elephant getting in a backyard swimming pool. So if they get in the swimming pool, the water's going to go up. If they get out of the swimming pool, the water's going to go down. So kind of whichever way these 30 huge companies go, even though there's thousands and thousands of companies that you can buy stocks in, whichever way these big, huge companies go, tend to pull the market in one direction or other. Not a guarantee, but just talking in general terms. But the next time that your listening audience turns on the TV or hears, oh, the market's going through the roof and this or it's going down, they're talking about the Dow and these 30 companies. And it doesn't necessarily mean that the stock that they own or stocks that they own are be going through the roof because the Dow is, but it could be. So, but I just wanted to make sure that everybody understands these little simple things that they try and make it sound so complex and this, that, the Dow is going to.
Right.
It's just 30 companies.
Actually,
it's just 30 companies.
As we're finishing up here really quickly, Blair Durham here with Black Wall Street Today, having a conversation with J.R. Fenwick about the stock market. We're finishing up our 4th installment on the Stocks and Entrepreneurship series. I want to clarify about the Dow. So is it literally 30 stocks, or was that just part of your example, just to say, the shopping cart full of the 30 stocks? It's actually 30 companies that are part of that Dow?
It is literally 30 stocks.
Literally,
so
okay.
I don't know the exact number of stocks on all the stock market. I think it's like 10,000 or something like that, or close to it. But it's literally just 30 stocks.
Okay.
But again, these companies are so ginormous, right? Like Apple is worth almost $1 trillion.
Right.
It was worth $1 trillion.
So they're so large that if you were to average the performance of that particular group, it is an indication of the health of the stock market or the direction. Okay.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
And again, we just use these, think about this too. The stock market is almost like a living, breathing item or person because it's made up of people's emotions and sentiments, right? So let's say you turn on the TV and it says, the economy is great, unemployment's low, the market's going through the roof, it's a bull market. So people get excited and they say, oh, let me start buying some stocks, let me go buy this stock, and it drives the market up because of the sentiment of the people. So all of this is really based on people and emotions. And, part of investing is kind of looking at the sentiment of the people and emotions and what we feel the value of that company is. Ultimately, the open market and the people decide what the value of a company. They say, I'm willing to pay X amount for the stock, or I'm not willing to pay for it. The company could have great financials on the books, great products and all that. But if people say, I'm just not going to buy it for, $100 a share, I'm only willing to pay $20 a share. Well, that's what the value of the company is going to be. So it's really interesting, when you get into this, the different indicators that you can use. And we use different indicators if we're investing versus trading. It's totally different strategies. So, we really dive a little deeper into that when people are involved in our course to really determine, how to get the best outcome. But it's different strategies for investing and trading.
Got you. Okay. So let's do 2 things as we're wrapping up. We've got 5 minutes. And I want to first kind of just give an overview of what's going to be shared next week, because I want to make sure people are tuning in for that. for that last installment. And then let's also, because I know we've got listeners all over the country via iHeartRadio, can you just give a couple of dates around the country where you're going to be speaking?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So what I want to do next week to kind of wrap up this 5-part series is just do a quick recap of some of the things that we talked about and kind of pull it all together. So each week we've kind of been given like some pieces of a puzzle, and I want to kind of pull these pieces of the puzzle together, all right, and just kind of show people how, and even maybe give an example of a stock and either buying it for investing or trading, and just an example of that, and just the whole flow. And also I want to kind of throw some unusual entrepreneurship principles in there that I think people will find valuable, because in today's economy, especially with the government shutdown, I heard your 10 points earlier, which were just fabulous. So I want to kind of give some more perspective on that, and just kind of put everything in a nice, neat package for folks.
Okay.
And then as far as where I'll be around the country,
yes, give us some dates, times, and locations.
Okay. All right. So this Saturday, we will be in Laurel, Maryland, which is the D.C. area, and that's Saturday. We'll be in Greenbelt at the Greenbelt Library. February 9th, we'll be in Laurel, Maryland, at the Laurel Library. We'll be coming to Cleveland, Ohio, and we'll be doing a program with Dr. George Frazier, founder of the Power Networking Conference and FrazierNet.
What's the date for that conference?
I want to say it's February 9th.
Okay.
But let me say this. All these dates will be posted on live, L-I-V-E, seminarregistration.com. Liveseminarregistration.com. That one's not up yet, but if people just check back weekly, we'll be updating. We just also got invited to go to Alaska.
Oh, wow.
To speak at a conference. I don't have all the details on that, but we'll be doing that. And Blair, I'll be getting with you to come down to the Hampton Tidewater area to put on a special conference.
What am I hoping for? The third Saturday in April. We'll talk more about it though offline. Okay.
Yeah, so
this is great. So we've got a couple things coming up in the Maryland, D.C. area. We've got the Power Networking Conference with Dr. George Frazier. Some pieces in Alaska, and then it's liveseminarregistration.com. Is that right?
Liveseminarregistration.com, and the website is flipthatstock.com.
Flipthatstock.com.
We'll also be in Houston in June.
Okay.
So we'll be across the country.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. I love it. Just super excited about your mission. Again, it's 1,000 new investors, right? That's your goal for this year?
Yeah. Our goal is to take 1,000 beginners and teach them to become traders and investors, active traders and investors, meaning they know how to do it. They're not just following, well, what's JR's stock pick of the day? No. I want you to know how to go in, use the technology, use the information, and pick and find stocks, analyze them, trade them, or invest them yourself. That's our goal. 1,000 self-sufficient traders and investors.
That's perfect. JR, I want to thank you so much for this time. I am definitely looking forward to next week. This has been great. Now we turn to our special feature on financial planning with Mr. and Mrs. Royster. Kenneth Royster of First Genesis of Virginia is a well-trained financial planner. He specifically focuses on retirement planning, wealth accumulation, and asset protection. He also focuses on clergy compensation planning and planning for business owners. He has 34 years of successful sales, in-depth experience, and training in financial services and insurance, and he's currently the team leader at First Genesis of Virginia. Kenneth is licensed to sell securities and life products in over 25 states. We'll also welcome Ms. Danica Royster. She is a wealth consultant at First Genesis of Virginia, LLC. She's well-trained in financial services and focuses on building her practice using a holistic approach when assisting clients in working towards their financial planning goals and objectives. She specifically focuses her strategies on retirement planning, wealth accumulation, educational funding for college, and asset protection. She also focuses on clergy compensation strategies, funding for college, and asset protection, as well as enhancing financial literacy in the Black community. She hopes to partner with various organizations to empower her generation in Hampton Roads and beyond. I want to thank you both so much for being here today.
Thank you for having us, Blair.
That was a mouthful. You guys come with such great experience. So excited about what you're doing in the community. I just want to and actually let me point out, I am going to open up the phone lines in a bit. So if you've got questions for our financial planner and wealth strategist, please give us a call at 757-727-5711. But I want to kind of open up the dialogue by talking about specifically, what is the role of a financial planner? I think there's so many titles out here, everybody's doing something in finance, but I'd like you to just speak to what is it that a financial planner really does?
That's a wonderful question, Blair. From my perspective as an advisor who works directly with clients, I believe that we add value, financial value to our clients' lives, particularly with addressing their financial goals and objectives and assisting them with coming up with a strategy to address those items. Often I meet with people and they know, or they've been referred and they're like, someone told me that I need to get with you to get my financial life together. Mm-hmm. And I tell people all the time that, what does that mean to you? Because finances isn't one size fits all. Get my life together could be, help me with my budget. Get my life together could be, hey, I know I have these benefits at my job, but I don't know how to manage them. Get my life together could be, I have a family and I want to make sure I'm doing everything that I can do to make sure that I'm protecting them, as well as setting ourselves up so that I'm creating a legacy for my kids. So our goal and our objective is to assist those clients, not only with educating them, but providing them with a playbook on how to be financially successful.
So what I hear you saying is these are custom solutions, right? This is not, you don't do the same thing with every client.
No, not at all. And I think sometimes, people will find a piece on Facebook or YouTube or read some link and they'll think that, hey, all I got to do is do these 3 things that this person, quote unquote, financial coach guru said, and I'm going to be wealthy. They're going to show me how to turn $5 into $5,000. And you have to question yourself and wonder, if it was that easy, wouldn't everybody be rich?
Right.
And one of the things I talk to my clients about, or people who I just speak with in general, is saying, don't you want to have a relationship with somebody who is invested in you and your future, making sure that they're doing for you? A book is great to get knowledge. Going to seminars is great to obtain knowledge as well. However, everyone deserves that one-on-one touch where you get to meet with somebody personally, sit them, have them look you in the eye, address your particular situation, and help you accomplish your goals.
I love it. You mentioned something interesting, right? So it's kind of the best of times, the worst of times with being able to access all this content online, right? We love being able to go to YouTube University and learn about something we didn't know about. But what specific credentials, certifications, licensure do you all have to have in order to act as financial planners, financial advisors, etc.?
Well, the most basic of licensing is, having a Series 6 or a Series 63 license. When you start moving up market to clients who are stock investors or ETF investors, you're going to need a Series 7 license. And if you are charging for your services, you need a Series 65 or 66, which is an advisory license.
Got it. Okay.
And so those are the basic entry-level credentials to get into the marketplace. From there, you can gain designations such as the CFP designation, the CLU designation, the CHFC. There's a lot of designations for specialists that say that they're specialists or they are what we call well-trained generalists. And so depending on your career track as an advisor, you will choose those tracks and kind of educate yourself so that you can get these proper certifications so that you're better positioned to serve your clients. One of the things I'd like to share with your audience today is that this idea of getting rich is not a great thing. Okay,
No.
and let me explain to you why. People get disappointed with failure quickly, and therefore they don't do the necessary steps to empower themselves economically. I've often told people that rich means different things to different people. And I gave an example during the Enron crisis when Kenneth Lee, who was the CEO of Enron, was questioned by a reporter about the fact that he said he was broke. And they said, well, Mr. Lee, you own 42 houses. How could you say that you're broke? He says, well, broke means different things to different people. Okay? He was a multi-millionaire. And so not having money but having the houses didn't mean anything to him anymore. The government had seized his wealth as far as he was concerned. Now, we're intentionally serving the African American community. 90% of our clients are African American, and they run a really big gamut from what we call the basic family, where it could be a single mom working every day to support herself and her child. On the other side, a husband and wife thriving with great careers, making good six-figure incomes and so forth and so on. And we serve those people. But the key is everybody has to have some type of goal as it relates to themselves, not in general. So as my daughter said earlier,
So getting rich is not really a specific, measurable,
no.
achievable goal.
No, and certainly chasing wealth quickly is really is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Everyone that you may know and everyone that I know over life have built something.
Right.
And it takes time to build something.
Let me just interject quickly. If you've just tuned in, this is Blair Durham with Black Wall Street Today. We are sitting with Mr. and Mrs. Royster of First Genesis of Virginia, LLC. They have a focus on empowering the Black community through finance. Wow. So I have a note here that you need to say all of what you just said pertinent to wealth building again, right? The fact that getting rich is just not, it's not a goal.
No, it's not. The reality is getting financially secure is the goal. One of the things when I engage a client new, one of the things I ask them is about financial independence and do they understand what that means? Mm-hmm. Financial independence means that you no longer are dependent on a job. You have enough wealth and enough streams of income coming in where you no longer are dependent on somebody else's employment for you to live. We had the fortune of meeting Earl Butch Graves some time ago.
Wow.
And he gave a talk and he says that think about 10 years of your earnings. Then you have achieved a level of wealth. 10 years of your earnings. So if you make $30,000 a year, it should be $300,000. Mm-hmm. If you make $300,000, then it should be $3 million. But he said that if you don't have 10 years of your earning power saved, you're not wealthy. You have not achieved anything until you've gotten there. Now, as I said earlier, those numbers sound astronomical for a $30,000 a year earner. But the truth is they have pretty much anywhere between 30 to 40 years to achieve it.
Sure.
And when you spoke earlier to me about the compounding, the rule of 72, this is where that would then come into play. What's my equation over the next 30 to 40 years? How much do I have to put in if money is doubling at a certain rate of return,
Right.
okay, to get there? You need a financial advisor, financial planner to help you navigate that number, okay? One of my favorite commercials came from one of our competitors years ago where a guy was up on the hedges cutting his hedges and some guy walks by and he's toting this number. And the guy says to him, what you got there? He says, this is my number. He says, what number? He says, this is my retirement number. I know it. Do you know yours?
That's good.
And a lot of people don't know their number. And then when they get to the age of retirement, they call 65, they realize that their number doesn't match up with their age. And that's when it's problemsome. And so what we try to do is eradicate that early by getting people to their numbers, whether it's educating your children, your down payment for your home, and then retirement ultimately is the last one. But you got to know these numbers and you have to start moving yourself towards your numbers. So again, this thing about rich, no, what are my goals, my objectives, and what do those numbers look like? And can I get there with what I'm doing?
Really good. Again, this is Blair Durham. This is Black Wall Street Today. We are with Kenneth and Danica Royster. I think I may have ruined your name early. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Having a conversation about what it really takes to build wealth. Of course, we're focused on rebuilding Black Wall Street. And so certainly having an understanding of personal finance is very relevant. So say more. I mean, I'm curious about sort of your experience with the community. Are you all, are you doing speaking events? Where are you in terms of engaging the community directly?
We engage the community on several levels. Past the individual, we have several partnerships with various organizations in the area, as well as the religious community with several churches and networks that we've been in partnership with over the years. In fact, I have to give a shout out to Hampton University School of Pharmacy, where we actually have a relationship here at the university where we engage the P4 students who are on their way into the real world, as you would say, and we host a seminar with them that is used to be a requirement for graduation. Often when I meet college grads, the first thing that they come out their mouth and say is, man, I wish there was a class on campus for this, or I wish there was some access for this. So my goal is not only, continue the relationships that I have with the universities, the religious community, as well as several Greek sororities and fraternities in this area, but to also connect with other professionals and professional groups. Because even though it's great that if we could get on campus and talk to everyone, and everyone always says, if I didn't have this information when I was 18, I said, now take a pause. You had this information when you were 18, you didn't have a job. You're probably more concerned about financial aid and passing classes. How about we engage the younger generation, college grads, like that senior year or leading into this is the start of my job. So we try to touch people through the seminars we hold locally in the area, connecting with other groups in this area. There's a Hampton Roads Black Young Professional Group where actually the coordinator for that, we came up with a January debt challenge. Something that's very foundational, but still necessary, particularly for people in our community, as a good entryway. And so we're doing that. We have a seminar, actually, quick plug, this Saturday, and it's open and free to the public. This is free, people. Please come out. And it's actually being hosted by the Chesapeake, Virginia Beach chapter of Delta Sigma Theta. And before we close the program, I'll make sure I give that information to you as well to share. But we're trying to create more of those relationships, more of those partnerships that we're reaching our people and giving them the information that they need and the credible information that they need so they can move forward and be able to, tackle their finances. One of the things, particularly in our community, that we always are addressing is closing the wealth gap.
Right.
And from my personal view, I think that all starts with education. So financial literacy is important, but the next step is implementation. And I think that's where me and Ken come into play as it relates to helping you. Because now that you have this knowledge, you went to the seminar, you read the book, have you found someone who you trust now to help you carry it through and hold you accountable to your goals?
Great. If you're just tuning in, this is Blair Durham with Black Wall Street Today. We have the Roysters in the building with First Genesis of Virginia, LLC. They are focused squarely on financial literacy for the Black community, providing a suite of financial products and services. As we were getting started, Kenneth, you mentioned, before we focus on this or that, we really need to focus on saving money. So I want to hear from you, and our phone lines are open as well, 757-727-5711. What are some of those strategies? How do we implement this goal of really beginning to save money? Where we're used to, living from paycheck to paycheck, maybe spending more than we make and all of these bad habits.
Absolutely. We've been plugging people today, so I've got to do another one.
Plug away. This is the radio.
To Dr. Dwight Riddick, some years ago, he came to me, approached me, says, Ken, our folks need to learn how to save money. He's a pastor at Gethsemane Baptist Church here in Newport News. And he says, can you come out and do a workshop on $25? What $25 can do? And I told him I certainly would do that. And to my surprise, 200 people showed up for that workshop, about $25. What it said to me, a signal, was that there are people out here who don't know that they can start saving money because no one will talk to them generally of my caliber or Danika's caliber with $25. But the fact that we are connected to our community, they were able to gain the resource. So we started talking about saving $25 a week. $25 a week.
Okay.
$25 every 2 weeks. $25 a month.
Okay.
But save it. And understand that this is money that you don't go get. You put it and push it away from yourself. You have to learn to push it away. And I then showed them the compounding effect over it over a period of time. And you may or may not know that the average savings account for an African American in this country is about $1,000. That's scary. Okay?
It is scary.
Okay? And that at retirement, that our retirement accounts are 4 times less than our white counterparts. Mm-hmm. And it's not just because they had a head start. It's what they do over their lifetime with what they have.
That's right.
All right? And so if you make consuming decisions, such as, I'm going to spend $1,000 on a car payment, but I don't own a home, those are bad choices.
Sure.
If you decide that because your circle is so affluent and so fine that at Christmas time, you spend $2,000 of money you don't have buying presents for people who don't need them.
Sure.
Instead of saving that money. If you take your, quote, income tax check and you predetermine its spending pattern before it even hits your hand. Again, these are mistakes that you are making. We've talked to people about something as basic as that. How about if you saved half of your income tax return? Not all of it. Half every single year and never touched it. And let's just say your average tax return was $1,500. It's $750. Okay? In 10 years, you have $10,000.
You make a really valid point there. I think about, we may understand all of how it is we got to this place of conspicuous consumption. We might, get it psychologically. We might understand it. But until we really start to change those behaviors, we can't rebuild Black Wall Street.
That's correct. And you start talking about owning businesses and self-determination. That's another show, okay? But we have to get back to that. But if we don't have capital,
right,
it's a different era than before. It costs a lot more to start a business and maintain one than it did in the past. And therefore, with all the economic pressures, you have to be even a greater steward of what you have in order to succeed.
Sure. We are finishing up an awesome show. And I just want to apologize to Danika and to Kenneth for my repeated referring to them as husband and wife when they are in fact father and daughter. My apologies, but just enjoying the fact that they are really building a legacy through entrepreneurship. They are a Black family-owned business, so certainly as your financial needs continue to develop, contact First Genesis of Virginia. Stay with us online at Black Wall Street Today on Facebook and Black Wall Street Today on Instagram, and then follow us on Twitter as well at BWS Today. We look forward to talking again next week. Have a wonderful week. I have said and I will continue to say that the most important priority for the Black community is the Black community, not a particular political party.